Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday, and we actually just dropped 2 thought pieces this past Sunday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. If it is the case that you're looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available on 10 different podcast platforms for your listening leisure, and we provided you with access to the links in the description down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like our conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les meufs et les mecs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis, and this week our topic of discussion is mental wellness. As we address wellness this week, the topic of discussion is going to be focused on how we wait without the stress. And a lot of us, we're accustomed to waiting, but we don't necessarily wait in the best way for our well-being. So we're stressed out, we're anxious, we're biting our nails, we're indulging in fairly maladaptive habits and behaviors to help soothe ourselves, I guess, through the waiting period. And I'm here to talk about the fact that waiting shouldn't involve really needing to be soothed if we take on the right mindset. And this really is talking about how we can make sure that when we're waiting in a way where we're calm, where we're comfortable, where we're confident, and we're not even entertaining the idea to, deal with the period between action and reaction in a way that might hurt or harm the outcome, right? Because if we're impatient, if we really can't wait, then we might, do something a little bit impulsive that might hurt the outcome or that might change the outcome. Whereas if we feel comfortable and we feel confident in waiting, if we recognize that waiting is part of the process as well, and we need to lean into it, and we can wait in ways that are way more adaptive than what some of us are currently doing. And for me, I will tell you that patience has been a journey for me. I wasn't out of the womb someone who was an incredibly patient person. I'm very much someone who appreciates, instant gratification. I appreciate getting timely responses. I like immediate responses, the quicker, the better. I mean, who doesn't? But I've learned that a lot of things in life, especially the things really worthwhile in life, require patience. And I think that what our society fails to address, and is something that we kind of have to search for now, because everything is so immediate, we're not having to wait so long. Like, waiting isn't something that we've been conditioned to do necessarily. So it's something that we have to take on our own, because it's not like we're having to deal with really long wait times. And in fact, when something is taking longer than even a day, like, we consider that to be like poor service. That person is behind. We've all sort of been conditioned to respond very quickly, but there are certain things that just, they're not going to be the best version of themselves, or it's not going to be what it is that we're looking for unless, like, we take the time and we wait. And for the things that require patience, that require that we wait, they often end up being worth the wait. So it's better to just wait in a healthy way instead of waiting, feeling like we're shaving ears off our lives. So without more of a preamble, I'm gonna jump into my top 3 ways that I wait without stress, right? So I don't allow myself to spiral into stress or to feel anxious at the response when I'm waiting, when I engage in these 3 behaviors, and I want to share them with you, and I want you to let me know if they help you out as well. So the first thing that I do when it comes to things that I'm looking for or different arenas in my life that are going to require patience is I very clearly demarcate what about this outcome is within my realm of control and what about this outcome isn't. And I think getting clear on, what aspects are within your control and what aspects are not. And then more importantly, making the decision that for all of these areas that are beyond my realm of control, like I can't expedite the response that I get on these specific things, or I can't change or manipulate or control the response, like it is going to be what it is, then I let go of the stress and anxiety that comes with trying to control something beyond my realm of control or trying to manipulate events that are beyond my realm of control. So I think that getting very clear on, what things I can do or that are within my realm of responsibility and making sure that I'm clear on those things and that I own those things in a way that makes me feel like I'm on top of it. And also recognizing the things that are beyond my realm of control and respecting that they are beyond my realm of control. And I think that part of how we learn to accept that there are certain things that are beyond our grasp of control and involves respecting and accepting that it is what it is, it will be what it will be. As long as we do everything we can with the areas that are within our realm of control, then we can at least feel good about the outcome, whether it's the outcome that we desire or not, because we took accountability for the things that, were within our bucket, were within the area where we could actually take accountability. And I think that this is so important because sometimes we take on the world, we try to boil the ocean, we think that everything is for us to sort of maintain and maneuver and manipulate, and that's just not the case. So I think getting very clear when it comes to your outcome on the demarcation between what you own and what you don't, so what you have control over, what you don't have control over, and then making the choice from the beginning before you get into it, that if something takes place that you've recognized is outside of your realm of control, it will be what it will be. Take that information for the value that it offers and leverage that information to decide, well, how does this change the areas that are within my realm of control? Like, do I push forward? What do I do with this new information? So on and so forth. But don't let what's beyond your realm of control to knock you off your kilter. It's very important to know that stress is something that is only very useful if it's something that is linked to and aligned to what's within your realm of control. Stressing about areas that are beyond your realm of control is just a waste of energy, and not something I would suggest that anyone do if they're looking to put a highlight on bettering their sense of overall wellness. Which brings us to our second point. I touched on this a little bit, but I'm going to go deeper into it, is if it's within your realm of control, hold yourself accountable. So for the areas that I have deemed are within my realm of control, I build structure around it. I ensure that I put different things in place that will allow me and that will hold me accountable to the areas that are within my realm of control, whether they're tasks, activities, whether they're me having to connect with specific people, follow up at certain periods of time. Like if it's within my realm of control, I am accountable to what's within my realm of control. And I find that because I take ownership over what it is that I can do that will help increase the probability that the outcome that takes place is the one aligned to the outcome that I desire, that even if it isn't an outcome that I particularly care for, I know that I did everything within my realm of control to bring out my desired outcome, so that if it doesn't translate the way I'm looking for it to translate, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I recognize and understand that different things that we are acquiring or achieving or striving for in life are going to involve interactions with entities and with the environment that will create this dichotomy between things that are within our realm of control and things that aren't. And everything that is within my realm of control, I take ownership over it. I am accountable to it. I build a structure around it. I find different ways to ensure that I am responsible, to be responsive in a timely manner to promote my desired outcome, of course. So I think that that's very important. Rather than worry about what you can't control, focus on the things that you can and really build the structure that you you need to feel like you're on top of it. And I think just feeling, there's recognizing that I'm putting my energy where my energy needs to go in order to feel like I'm on top of it, to know and recognize that I'm taking care of it, to recognize I have eyeballs and my attention, the appropriate amount of attention on it. It's just super important and giving me that sense of relief that I'm not dropping the ball and that I'm not going to be the person that is really the reason why the outcome that I was hoping for didn't take place. So I think that that's super crucial and super important as part of the toolkit for limiting the amount of stress while we wait, is like recognizing like when you're waiting, like what is it that I have in mind to do? Like what is it that I built into my structure as different activities that I can do that are healthy, that incorporate the waiting period? Or maybe even that's like, okay, I can put this to the side, I can parking lot this, knowing that like it's safe to parking lot and focus my attention elsewhere. All of it is very clearly laid out before I even, take the first step. And my last tip, and this might be a little utilitarian or a little pragmatic for some people, but recognizing the amount of emotional energy that you pour into something very rarely bears weight on the outcome. And I think that this is a lesson that some of us don't even learn. I think this is a lesson that only a few of us learn if we're kind of taking the time to introspect and to kind of leverage hindsight on, how much emotional energy you put into a specific outcome, or how much stress we allow to play into how things rolled out, and if whether or not that translated as our desired outcome. And I've recognized that it's important to put the appropriate amount of emotional energy and not more and not less. And I think when you put the appropriate amount of emotional energy, if it's not the outcome that you desire, you're not going to completely break apart. You're going to have a period of disappointment and you're going to move on because you did what was within your realm of control. And if it didn't work out and you don't see an opportunity for you to keep pushing forward towards your objective with like the new information that you've gathered as a result of the outcome that took place, then you can move on knowing, hey, I explored every avenue, every aspect of that avenue, and if it didn't pan out, then it wasn't supposed to pan out. And I think oftentimes when we think about our outcome and alternative outcomes, there's blind spots, there's things that we don't take into consideration, there's information that we don't have, that we won't have, that played into that outcome as well. And sometimes you just have to trust the process. You have to trust that if the answer was the answer that it was, and there's nothing that you can recognize like with the information that came with that answer that gives you the sense that you should keep pushing forward in that direction, keep striving, try it a different way, reposition, repivot yourself, then feel confident that like letting that go, like pursuing other objectives, like it's fine to do that as well. It's not a loss. It might be a failure in different ways, but it's a failure that was informative, especially if you did your due diligence, you held yourself accountable. It's like, oh, that didn't work out. It didn't work out for X, Y, and Z, or maybe because I'm oriented A, B, and C, or maybe because, I'm still too junior. I need to get a little bit more experience. Maybe in a few years I might try again, whatever the case might be. What it isn't is the end of the world. And what won't impact that outcome is you like pouring in so much stress into that situation, shaving off years off your life, hoping that that will be the outcome that you desire. I think just recognize like your energy has value, and wasting energy pushing for an outcome that, is at least 50% beyond your realm of control is just not useful time spent. You could put that energy into a different project. Like again, like don't put your eggs all in one basket. Have different projects that you can kind of shift your attention to when you've done everything that you are supposed to, you've held yourself accountable to, so that you can move on and brush it off, right? And I think that it's very important that we put ourselves in a situation where we're learning, where we're growing, where we're experiencing, where we're creating, where we're giving ourselves the toolkit to brush it off and move on. Like if it's not the outcome that we want, we take that information in, but we brush off like the disappointment, we brush off the feelings of failure. Like it is what it is. We move on with that, whether that's moving forward, continuously trying to pursue that objective, or pivoting and taking an alternative course. I think it's very important that we become much more mindful about how much energy we expend just in general, just recognizing the value in our energy and not wasting our energy even for our own emotional comfort, right? And I think that, emotions will take as much energy as you give them. I probably do a different video on it, but like I know how much time I need to spend in a specific emotion before like I'm good, I can push forward. But I also recognize that some emotions like to stick around, right? They're like the guest who doesn't like take the social cues that it's time to go. Like for me, even sadness is one of those emotions where you have to signal it to leave. It doesn't like it to leave on its own. And I should probably do its own video on that, but I do believe that if we are very cognizant of the value of our energy, then we're not going to allow our energy to be wasted unnecessarily just based on how we set ourselves up in the relay that takes place between our actions and the reactions of the world around us. And when it comes to periods of waiting, this is where a lot of us just expend so much of emotional energy unnecessarily. So that was really the point of our conversation today. I hope that it was of interest to you. I hope that it gave you some food for thought. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to follow us there and also in all of our social media accounts. Now, these events are paid events. We facilitate them in such a way where we're providing you with this critical thinking and the tools to derive more meaning and fulfillment out of life. And if you do see yourself participating in our Game Changer community on an ongoing basis, then I suggest that you take a look at one of our membership package plans. So we do have membership plans that not only give you access to an unlimited amount of our live events, but also access to our workshops and webinars that we offer over and above those live events. So if that is something that appeals to you, it's definitely available for you. I look forward to chatting with you, to engaging with you, and to growing and evolving our Game Changer community. So that's it for this week. We'll talk to you soon.